Black French king, Viking warriors of color, German soldiers during World War II depicted predominantly as non-Caucasians or women, the refusal to generate images of white people. That kind of sums up the Google Gemini disaster of this week. It all started 3 weeks ago when Google rebranded its large language model as Gemini and introduced the capability to generate images, including of people. Google took down this functionality earlier this week after Gemini generated images that, and let's be generous here, did not reflect the intent of the user and were contextual and historically highly inaccurate. So how could this have happened? And I do not mean, why did Google let or make this happen? Its motivation. What I mean is, what was going on under the hood that led to this model behavior? I think in principle there are two stages at which this bias could have been introduced into Gemini. One is at the front end, the user prompt, and the other, the more likely, is during the fine-tuning of the model. Google could in principle have moderated the user prompt by eliminating words like white or introducing words like diverse. But doing this deterministically is at a minimum crude and definitely not scalable. In theory, and I don't want to give people ideas here, one could run the input for an image generation AI through a textual LLM to make sure that the resulting prompt, the input for the model, reflects the beliefs and the biases of the model makers. But the easiest and most plausible explanation is that this bias was introduced during the fine-tuning stage of the model. So how are LLMs trained? There are in principle two main stages. During the first, the pre-training stage, the model ingests large amount of data, typically internet data, in an unsupervised fashion. And at this stage, the knowledge base of the model is generated. This is then followed by a fine-tuning stage, during which the model learns to act as an assistant to produce outputs and respond to user inputs. And this fine-tuning is done with a fairly small amount of data and documents, which are generated or labeled by humans. And the instructions for human labelers often include directions to make sure that the model output is helpful, truthful, and not harmful. And this is definitely in the eye of the beholder. So it's most likely that during this fine-tuning, the non-white bias was introduced into Gemini. And what does this mean? I think it means two things. First of all, if this is how the model behavior was determined, then this functionality will not be up and running anytime soon, because fixing this will require repeating the fine-tuning of the model. And secondly, and most importantly, when using outputs of generative AI, keep in mind that the output reflects the beliefs and biases and the quote-unquote realities of the model makers. So proceed with caution, handle with care, and have a great day.